Lovely literature students, welcome back to another exciting literature class. Welcome back all of you. Today's class we're going to be looking at the character analysis in The Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. In our previous class we looked at the themes and the style. So we're going to be analyzing the characters in the lovely book The Invisible Man. Behavioral objectives. During the course of this lesson, we're going to be identifying the characters and their contributions to the novel. Now, the characters in Ellison's The Invisible Man are the narrator, Ras the Exhorter, Brother Jack, Todd Clifton. So these are the four characters in Ellison's The Invisible Man. So let's look at the first character. Our first character is the narrator. The narrator represents a classic case of the miseducated Negro, taught to despise his own people. He was taught a version of American history so thoroughly whitewashed that he learned nothing about the countless contributions of Black Americans, and he has no concept of Black history. He was rendered invincible due to the distortion and lack of documentation in U.S. history texts. He was taught to accept the myth of white supremacy as a fact, and the narrator was also determined to distance himself from uneducated Southern Blacks to whom he feels vastly superior, because he feels he has gone to school and then he should be superior to uneducated Blacks, and that was majorly his downfall. They were able to use that against him. Another character we're going to be looking at in this lovely book is Ras the Exhorter. Ras is eventually propelled into violence by overwhelming conditions and forces. He is perceived not as a visionary leader, but as a dangerous militant and a rabble-rouser whose voice must be silent. He was instigating the Blacks against themselves because he wanted them to realize that the whites will forever remain superior and the Blacks will remain inferior. He is the only Black man in the novel who chooses and then changes his own name, but because he has stepped outside of history, Ras is perceived as a crazy and ridiculous figure. This is the character analysis of Ras the Exhorter. We have another character in this lovely book, Todd Clifton. Todd Clifton is the handsome, articulate younger brother assigned as Harlem's youth leader. He was also the narrator's colleague. Although the narrator first considers him a competitor, he soon realizes that Todd is not even interested in political power. Todd just wants to help the youths of Harlem. He wants them to realize their unlimited potential. He wants them to come out of the shadow and take back what is theirs. Because Todd is one of the most charismatic characters in the novel, it is difficult to reconcile his act of selling sample dolls and his violent death with his true character. Like, everybody's wondering, how did he go from pushing the Blacks to become important in the Harlem society to somebody selling racial objects in the same Harlem? It is difficult to pitch those two things together. What an irony. So we've seen the character of Todd Clifton. Our next and final character is Brother Jack. Brother Jack. In the character of Brother Jack, Ellison merges the trickster of Black folklore with the trickery and deceptiveness of whites towards Black. We see that according to the Black folklore, Jack or John is the great human culture hero who usually defeats Old Massa, God, and the devil. He is the head of the Brotherhood, and as symbolized by his single eye, Jack is partially blind and sees Blacks only as a group and not as an individual. He doesn't see them as human beings, he only sees them as a group, and he's not working to ensure that they achieve anything. He is just using the organization as a means to grow the white supremacy. So these are the characters in Ralph Ellison's The Invisible Man. We have the narrator, we have Ras the Exhorter, we have Todd Clifton, and Brother Jack. Now, I want us to do our little evaluation. Our evaluation analyze the characters of Sybil, Mr. Norton, and Dr. Bledsoe. Analyze the characters of Sybil, Mr. Norton, and Dr. Bledsoe. So lovely students, we've come to the end of our lovely class where we analyze the characters in the book The Invincible Man by Ralph Tennyson. I'll see you in our next class where we'll be analyzing another lovely work of literary art. Until then, it's bye for now.